Hey, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Talking Techish with Dr. DeMario.
Talking Techish. Talking Techish. Talking Techish.
And yes, I know it has been a while since I've been on here. That's why I had to jump on now, and I had to bring on this outstanding guest. But, we've been actually in the woodshed. And if any of you know about the woodshed, it's when you go away, you start building. And if you've been watching the news, this AI world is going off the chain. We don't even have time to just conversate about it because we've been building. But you know what? I'm changing that because we got to get back on here for the people. So therefore, without further ado, I want to introduce to you the one and only, my friend and teammate, Mr. Jorge Alvarez Washington. How are you doing, sir?
Top of the morning, brethren. Top of the morning. That's a lovely intro, brother.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Off the hip with a lot of caffeine. I got my caffeine going. But yes,
tea for me.
hey. Well, I you know what? The title of the show, Everybody Loves Jorge, and that's probably why you drink tea, and most definitely probably not a lot of cups of coffee.
A spot of tea and crumpets.
Well, but you know what, Jorge? Before we even jump into our conversation of today, why don't we give a little backdrop? I know you're out there in New York and everything. I don't think people really know that. Why don't you give a little backdrop about where you are, what you do, just the day in the life of Jorge?
It's funny that you said that. I know people that we are associated with, and I started my brick and mortar business in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I left Charlotte, North Carolina, and I moved to Winter Park, Florida. And it was a one-way ticket to Winter Park, Florida. And I ventured out and wanted to re-educate myself, reinvent myself, and take a different path. And I went to Full Sail University, majored in entertainment business and film. And from that point, I left Orlando, Florida, Winter Park, Florida, and moved to New York. There are people who live in both Orlando, Florida, and Charlotte don't know that I live in New York. And despite the fact that we are Facebook friends, socialize on social media, and I personally know them. A lot of people have social media connections, but they don't know them. And they don't know them. So with me, the reason why everybody loves Jorge is because I meet no stranger. No stranger. So being in New York, this is the Mecca. This is no city in the world like New York. Everybody comes to New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But there are a lot of people that have not made it in New York. And what do you mean by when you say you've made it? Well, how about accomplish all your goals, personal goals, business goals, financial goals, spiritual awareness, and those type things. Those are what you set as a precedent for you to say that I have accomplished something. Well, to others, they might look at success totally different than you. Who are you measuring your success by? The problem with people, they don't measure their success by their own. They measure their success by others, and you shouldn't do it that way.
That's so true. But you know what? I want to take you back though, because we share a similar thing there. I actually attended Full Sail for a moment, going in there for music production.
I think you did tell me that.
Yeah. I actually went through Full Sail. Now, granted, I didn't complete my tenure, my class with Full Sail.
It's
because
expensive.
Well, it wasn't even about the expense for me. It was about the class that I was in. I thought it was something that I needed, but I found out that I was more advanced than the people that I was going through it with. So I kind of just jumped out. I was like, man, I'm already working in recording studios by the time I'm doing. I just thought I needed the credentialing to continue down that pathway. But then I found out like, no, I didn't.
You could have been the instructor.
Yeah, I really felt that way.
If you would have picked them the way you pitched other things, from your work experience and things that you have done, that you have accomplished individually, that people don't know about you. I know it, but we don't talk about it, but I still know it. If you would have used that, guess where you would have been? You would have been the instructor. You would be like Will I Am right now. He's a professor at one of the major universities. He's teaching what? AI.
Yeah, that's crazy. But in hindsight, the things that you don't know when you're going through something,
That's true.
when you're actually in it, you're following. And I'm not knocking people when I say this, but you're following the kind of sheeple scenario of it. Someone told
Man,
you that you might need this credential. You start going down the pathway thinking that you need something to validate yourself. And sometimes you find out that you don't need a third party validation just to
at
do the
all.
thing that you're doing.
At all. At
but
all.
but but also, man, that's an interesting story. I don't think I realized that you moved to Florida and then that's how you ended up in New York.
Correct.
I've always seen you as a New Yorker, man. At the end of the day, I always seen you as a New Yorker, but I know that history is way past more than I actually know. So that's a good thing. But I have to ask you this right here, because it seemed like the wife and I was actually talking about this. You said you took a one-way ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about this in a conversation, just randomly, our coffee conversations, as we call it, how brave it is to go somewhere on a one-way ticket.
Yep. That's a serious conversation.
Yeah, because that means there's no plan B.
Well, you don't need a plan B because everything is in plan A. And
Yeah.
it's in plan A. Now, let me elaborate on the plan one-way ticket, because there is no plan B. The reason why there was no plan B, I wasn't looking back. I wanted to move forward. And people say forward thinking, but yet they pull back to the old way. Why would you go back to the old way when when you are completely converted? And I'm gonna say that just along with something that you said to me. You didn't say it. You sent me a video. That video was deep. I thought about it. I wanted to respond, but I didn't respond. You know why? I learned something from you. You said, when you talk about something that's in the past, it happened so long ago. What did you tell me? It's irrelevant. It's water under
Yes.
the bridge. You don't even worry about it. Now, what you sent to me was not water under the bridge. That was current. That happened. And however, what I did was assessed myself. I sat back and I'm like, what can I get from this? The typical response will be is, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that and blah, 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 blah. That's a defense mechanism. I didn't want to I didn't want to respond defensively because I'm not offended by what was said, but it was deep. So I sat there, and when I heard what it was, I said, oh, he might be conferring or referring to my talking about it as a way of releasing it. Oh, I wasn't releasing. I was definitely saying what actually happened. But what I got from it was, just because you're saying what exactly happened, what is the energy behind it? What is the purpose of it? That's why I didn't respond. I went, wait a hold on. The purpose of it is, don't get caught up in doing that. Change the narrative, change the talk, change everything. And I could not argue with it. I could not dispute it. All I did was correct it.
But you know what? I got to jump in there because a lot of times I tell people, I share what I eat. So that was actually shared with me. And
You ate it, brother.
and
Did you
and
eat it? You
yeah,
ate it.
yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about was a simple clip. Actually, my wife sent it to me first, because she knows I love the stuff, those things that make you go, hmm. So there was a clip that talked about how venting is evil. And the clip is just kind of summarizing it rather. It's like when you go up to a person and you come to them with a certain energy. So you like, this happened, blah, 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 and you're throwing that onto that person who might have been just skipping and singing yippity doo dah day. When you throw that on there, you are spiritually, from what we both learned, you are throwing that spirit into that person. I that blew me away, man. It changed the way.
It's a fact.
I had to go back and check myself and say, man,
and that's exactly what I did.
do
Check
I do
myself.
that? And you know, with some of the information, you have to take the parts that, like you say, that you can eat, and then discard the rest of it. But you know, it was so deep into the
Deep.
power of the words that you share with other people.
Deep.
What it said. I remember my old late friend, and you remember him too. We called him Panama.
Yeah.
Panama used to say, he used to tell me little stuff, and I was young back then. You know, I was younger, and I heard it, but I didn't hear it until years later. This guy's already passed away and gone, and then I'm like, oh. He said, be careful on who you let whisper in your ear. I didn't think nothing about that. He's like, don't let he's like, brother.
Yeah,
don't let them get in your ear. Don't let them get up in your ear and whisper, because you know we would be in a lot of places and people always come up to you and he's like, because he said, you hear the words that they're speaking, but you don't know the spirit that they're putting inside your mind. And I used to be like, this dude crazy, but now today I was like, oh.
Yeah, Rastaman, real respect, much knowledge, wisdom.
Yes, that is crazy.
That's all he did was speak wisdom.
Yep, along with a little bit of craziness, because
you will.
Hey, I loved it all, man. I have stories for days on that world. I got stories for days.
I might have to tap into that. I'll tell you about it. It's another person that we are in conjunction with that knew him as well. And brother, when I tell you something's coming down the pipeline, I mean something huge is coming down the pipeline. Just like we working on stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Some things I can speak on, some things I cannot. I'm talking about as far as my skilled aura.
Yeah.
Coming from Dr. DeMario, my skilled aura, but I knew about my skilled aura before Dr. DeMario. I knew Dr. DeMario before he was Dr. DeMario, but I'm talking about the business. I'm talking about your concepts. I'm talking about everything you ate and everything that you dish out that you regurgitate and eat again.
Oh boy, hey, that sounds like the bumblebee, man. That's the bumblebee. People don't even know when you're eating honey.
Ooh,
hey, go check it out.
It's regurgitation. It's like, what? And people are like, oh, it's so sweet. Yeah, but do you know what you're eating?
Yeah.
And do you know the medicinal purposes for honey? Do you know if you let honey dry and it becomes brittle, you can cut somebody down to their veins with honey. And it's not even, the foam is hardened, just like water becomes ice and ice is a block. Well, ice can do the same thing. If you get an icicle, you'll be careful them icicles will pierce you right in the top of your brain, in your cerebellum, or your frontal lobe, which is the limbic system, mess you all up. But honey does the same thing. So brethren, before I moved to Charlotte, I was in Virginia. I raised my children in Virginia. Virginia was the first place I moved to that really brought me to the States and whatnot. And I'm like, after I left Virginia, I moved to Charlotte in 1997, the year that Biggie Smalls was shot. I just left Biggie Smalls in Teddy Riley's birthday party. Biggie Smalls was there. Right after the birthday party, I moved to Charlotte in March. Biggie Smalls got shot. Actually, I moved in January. He got shot in March.
You know what? You're tiptoeing on some things that people just don't know about you, really.
Yeah, they don't.
the term, I'm going to always refer to it. Everybody loves Jorge. And I think really the whole concept of it is, let's bring the people in, those that may not know. The concept of it is, if I known Jorge, shucks, I'm just gonna say over 20 years.
Yep.
Just to, without me having to do too much math inside my head, because I'm getting older and it might not calculate correctly.
And plus, you're talking about the wrong numbers. Now, if you was talking about money, you will remember that.
Yes,
Business numbers.
Yes. So, with that, we shared a passion inside of the music field. Those that know me know, hey, you see it in the back. It's still relevant to this day. We just took that same creative energy and started talking about techish. Because I know if you watching it, you say these brothers talking about honey, they talking about moving, they talking about some crazy Panamanians. What does this have to do with techish? But it's the foundational building blocks of how we became to be in this sector today. But I want to tap back because you were just talking about being along, Biggie Smalls, Teddy Riley, and things of
Yep.
that nature.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about your history. How did you get in those rooms? That's good.
I got in the rooms, to be honest, it's because I don't meet strangers. And I got in that room because I talked myself into the room, not intentionally, not ill will or trying to maneuver or be shisty or any type of hustling. I'm not a hustler. And I'm not a street hustler. I'm not a hustler in the terms of, well, I'm a finagle this and I'm a finagle that just to get in the door. No, I come straight. Straight up, no chaser. Boom. I don't even drink, but I use terms like that because people understand it. Those who drink, they know, oh, you don't put no ice in this drink? Oh, you drink it straight up? Yeah, straight, no chaser. I put hair on your chest, as Method Man would say. Method Cow. Shout out to Big Meth. No, my sister used to sing background for Melba Moore. She's opened up for Melba Moore when Melba Moore was huge. And people don't know this about Melba Moore. Melba Moore was the background singer for, yes, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. And Melba Moore was a school teacher and she became a singer. Then she became a household name. She's still singing to this day. She's doing book signings. I want to talk about that book signing you and your wife got. I'm like, what? I'm gonna be in Charlotte on the day that you're doing your book signing in October. We're gonna talk about that because I want to. But you having it in Lancaster, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna get my brother who lives in Rock Hill. Hey, bro, come scoop me up. Let's go down and talk to brother. Introduce
Oh
you to
yeah,
brother
it's
Mario.
not that far from your brother's location at all, man. It's about 15-20 minutes.
He was on the call with Procurifying with the creators. He was on that call. The one that's doing the DJing. He has a big deal with. He didn't say it, but I'ma say it. He has a DJ gig with Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's gonna be at the Speedway in September. He talked on it. He just said a big event. He didn't say, well, I wanted him to toot his horn and say, let them know what you're doing. Let them know, not necessarily let them know you're my brother, just all the creators I had on that call. And your wife said before the call even came on, Jorge, I just want to let you know, you are the man. You got just about everybody on the call is your referral. So anyway, in Virginia, my sister was singing background and men of vision, they were managed by Black Robe Entertainment out of Virginia, and they needed some money. And I said, well, I can get you the money. I did my thing, got the money, sent it to them. Then I found out how dirty the music industry is.
Oh yes.
I was like, okay, what did I get myself into? I said, look, you got to help me. I helped you. What you gonna do for me? So I know about being a road manager with them and how that craziness was and rolling with them. That's how I know Kenny Quiller. Kenny Quiller is from Charlotte. Ran into him just the other month. He got this country artist that he wants to do. I let him hear my country song that I produced. He's like, what? Why you do country? Absolutely. I play 8 instruments. What do you mean? I am a musician. I am a ASCAP musician. So getting into with the Teddy Riley management camp, being in Back to the Future, Master Sound Studios in Virginia Beach, Ginuwine, Timbaland, Missy. I knew all of them before they became big. They were doing beats and they didn't even have as many instruments as you have. They didn't have the setup like you had, but they had that drive.
Oh, yes.
And nobody wanted to touch them because they were new. But as soon as they dropped that first track with Aaliyah, it was over. Everybody that was big on the East Coast, North or South, came through Teddy Riley. Back to the Future. They came through it and they recorded I was at Master Sound Studios when Ginuwine dropped Pony. Then I was on the highway going to Houston, Texas to hang out with H-Town. My sister was in the car with me. We was doing 100-something. I had no business doing it, but I was doing 100-something miles on Highway 10, bumping Pony from Ginuwine. I was in a Mazda 626, candy apple red, sitting on chrome, stick drive. I was the only one that had one. You couldn't tell me nothing. So that's the era I come from. But I never was an artist. I never got into bad contracts. I was on the management side. I was in there. Somebody was not in my ear. They were not in my ear. I was making moves. And my sister, she got a little jealous. I was like, you going to forget about me? No. And I understand people always think somebody's going to forget about them because they are not prepared to move on. And this is why when you came to me and I saw what you was doing, I had to adjust. I had to get prepared. Train the human, deploy the AI.
Hi, I'm Ethan, Skilldora's AI executive assistant everyone is talking about. Did you know Skilldora offers AI agents, just like me, and automation services built for small businesses? It's true. We cut what it costs to run your company and multiply what your team can handle without hiring. Spend less, earn more, be worth more. To book your free call and to learn more, visit myskilldora.com.
You know what? That is, that kind of bounces us right into that thought process because, when you and I, I'm not going to say reconnected because we just connected up in person when you were in town. And I always tell people, I said that day I spent with you, I felt like the president. You had me going around and you was talking to every single, I believe if a stray dog would have walked up to the car, that dog would have walked away with a flyer or something in his mouth. Because I was like,
lying.
man,
You're not lying.
God, dog, Jorge.
But to me, you were the president. To me, you were the president. Let me tell you something, the reason why you felt that way. That should let you know the respect level that I had for you as a musician, as a man with thought. Just because we were musicians and we were breaking bread at NoDa, I was listening to your thoughts. You used to share your thoughts. You would share your thoughts, and I was listening. Saying, this brother, he's deeper than getting on a guitar and chopping up some wood and getting into that rhythm and that. It was bigger than that. I don't care what our correlation was. That correlation had nothing to do with where we are right now. It was the beginning of it, but that's what I was seeing in you then, what I see now.
That's crazy. Appreciate
the
it.
evidence.
Appreciate it.
This is the evidence.
It's crazy because, at the end of the day, man, a lot of my people I might run into that knew me or know me from that music world, they always ask me about the balance between the two. now dealing in tech and dealing in music. And I ended up summing it up, and I might have shared this with you earlier. I said, well, the same way that I used to create music is exactly the same mindset that I create tech.
Yeah, you had
Be-
that conversation with me.
yeah, because at the end of the day, if you play an instrument, this is my opinion, but if you play an instrument and you are figuring out the chords or the drum patterns or whatever instrument that you play, that same muscle that you use in mindset to play that instrument is the same way that you can play the AI tools. Think about it. If you look at it, this is just coming off the hip. If you look at an AI tool as an instrument, what song would you make?
Just give me the music. Nah, I would make boom, cash moves everything around me. Cream get the money. That's the song I
Yeah.
would make.
But you know what? See, we're in that world now. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into this because
That's a good
I
analogy.
I yeah, I
That's a
eat up
good
this stuff,
analogy.
man. We are in. Man, I've been watching these trends, and I'm always talking about trends, and I'm always sharing data with y'all and everything I learn. Because really, I tell people most of the time, what I'm sharing is what I learn. So it's not like I'm the be all of the information. It's like I might have been in the room or on a meeting or on some webinar or whatever, and I hear something. I'm constantly writing all this stuff down, just constantly, just scratching notes, and then I shoot a text out to people that get it. I shoot a text out to them like, check this out. But the crazy thing is what's starting to bother me now. It's like the whole reason that my last book exists. And you're wearing the hat, and everybody know I got on the shirt, you got on the hat. Train the human, deploy the AI.
Yep.
What's bothering me now is they're man, how can I put this? I watch I join this live broadcast every morning at 8:30. I try to in a way every morning at 8:30 to 9:30, and it's really just talking about the workforce development sector, what companies have did massive layoffs or whatever the case may be. That's all
Yeah,
they talk
yeah.
about.
You share that.
Yeah, I shared it with y'all.
Yeah, you always share it.
And the crazy thing, man, over the last couple of months, I've been attending this thing. I haven't heard any empowerment for the people that's out there in the workforce.
Who are
So
struggling.
you got to think most of the people that's probably on this thing in the mornings, they are people who have career job positions. I never worked in corporate, so I don't go there for the how to save my job scenario. I go there to see what the market is doing.
Right.
And
What?
man,
Save my job.
yeah, they have a live chat. Most of the time, they probably say, whoever this guy is, every time he puts something in the chat, it's all about go create your own.
Yep.
Go learn the AI tool. You can't replace me. I replace myself.
Exactly.
I be saying all that stuff, man. I'm surprised they ain't kicked me out yet.
Yeah.
But when you start thinking about how the economy is going and how this advanced technologies, whether it's the simplest things, or open AI, chat GTP, claws, perplexities versus robotics or automation, when you look at all of this as a combination, that leaves the human population at a deficit.
A big deficit. A big deficit. Did you see the Chinese humanoid Olympics?
Hey, I was just talking about this last night.
Did you see the humanoids breaking my Jamaican brother Bigger
His record,
record? That is insane. But you crashed at the end. Both of them.
yeah.
Hussein can get up. He'll
Dust
be all
yourself
right.
off, walk
Dust
away.
yourself off, walk away, rehab, come back, or retire. Don't matter. You can't replace humans, man. When they
But you
gonna
know,
learn that?
but you know what though?
They
Between
trying, but yeah.
those robots running, I
Woo.
seen them. They did the fighting.
Did
They
you
did
saw 'em
the
jump
yeah. I seen the jumping.
vertical?
So I put up on LinkedIn maybe a couple of days ago, and I shared the little Olympics thing that they had going on. I said, do y'all think they're training these people for the Olympics, or these robots for the Olympics, or are they training them for something else?
They training them for something else.
Because, brother, let me tell you something. Regardless that robot crashed at the end of running, if it's supposed to come and catch me, it got me before it crashed. I'm telling you, it got me. I'm not escaping it.
All I'm gonna say is, I, Robot, the movie, Will Smith.
All day, all day, all day. But you know, too, you hear me say this all the time. The Hunger Games.
That too.
The
That's
Hunger
worse.
Games.
That's worse than I Robot.
Yeah, because we're slowly, not slowly even.
No,
We're
it's here.
fast paced moving into either you get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, you are out. Matter of fact, Jorge, this right here might be interesting to you. I just took a note this morning. So I think this is supposed to start dropping around the first week of September. So it's getting so bad that our government system, they're coming out with a new federal layoff rule. It's on September the 2nd. But right now, they have introduced what is called a dislocated worker program. It's going to be in every state. The dislocated worker program is that if you have lost your job for these particular reasons, you can join this program. And I haven't read it yet, so I can't give you, I just know the headlines of it. But it seems like they're setting up things across every state that you can go to because you have lost your job due to layoffs, advanced tech stuff, whatever the case may be, other than you just walking off your job because you didn't like it. But if you got displaced because of something, they're setting up a program for you. So my question with that is always, if you setting up a program for dislocated workers, that means that you're foreseeing that these workers
ain't coming back. They ain't coming back, brother. They're going to be out for good. So guess what? That's the Hunger Games. They're going to be in a certain class. And then they're going to be the ones who are going to be hunted. Bro, I listen. I know it may sound comical, but the sad part about that is it's true. That's what the people going to do. And see, I feel sorry for the hackers.
Explain.
The hackers are the ones who dibby here, dibby there, and they do it to get whatever. What class would they fall under the Hunger Games? What was the name of that class of people? Because the government is going to use them against the people who are misplaced. You weren't ready for that one, was it? And you know why? You know why? You just gave me that. I ain't never heard that yet. I haven't read it yet and seen the articles. But listen to my response I just gave based upon that, how I'm correlating everything that you just said to things that have happened. You got to remember, these movies came out before. That means these people who wrote these movies, especially the lady who did The Terminator and The Matrix. The people are in the Matrix, brother. They've been in the Matrix for a long time. There are some things about my past was in the Matrix, but my knowledge don't allow me to remain in the Matrix. My knowledge, this is why I got this on. And the only reason why I got this on, I looked at Brother DeMario. He was dropping off some material. You probably see the material back here, here, and here. These are my tools that I use. His concept, I didn't develop this, he did. But when I understood what his concept was, I said, whoa. So guess what I'm doing? I'm using this concept. That's why I am the official ambassador, because I believe in what is being done, being said, being sold for services, etc. We're going to talk about this, but not on camera. Someone just reached out to me about Skilldora doing consultations. So
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to share with you directly what was said, and we're going to talk about what the direct response should be. Not that I don't know what the response is. I want to talk about it specifically. And now, based upon what you just said, this triggered me to tell you. I was going to talk. You going to say, Jorge, you got any questions? That would have been one of my questions. But since we are talking about that right there, that's serious.
Man, let me tell you something. I got a little bit more for you.
I know you do.
So for my people that's over 50, they're saying that in today's market, one out of four people in the over 50 age group, how can I say this nicely?
Don't say it nicely.
If you are currently looking for a job, you're not going to get it. 1 out of 4. Don't shoot the messenger.
Hey,
this is the data that's going out, and guess what? It's a breakdown. It goes all the way down to the people in 30, in the ages of the 30 ranges. So,
what generation are we on right now? What are they called? The current.
I have no idea.
I used to keep up with it. I'm a baby boomer, so if I'm doing AI, I'm a baby boomer. What are you waiting on? What are you doing?
Well, see, that's the thing. Everybody that knows about Skilldora, we, our customer client persona is really for the people who are 45 and up. It's really 45 and up. And why did I select 45 and up? We have went through so many changes and iterations. Most of the people that's 45 and up, you remember when you had the house phone and you had to stretch the cord all the way to the back.
Correct.
Parents getting mad or whoever, because they got to pull the phone back to the kitchen. To now everybody has a cell phone. My parents and a couple of my uncles and aunts are the only people I actually know still in life that has a house phone with the same number that you probably can find in the telephone book years ago. We actually, we know what it was like when the microwave first hit. We know what it was like when CD players first came out.
And I wish I never used a microwave ever. I wish I never used it.
Hey, Watson, we also know when VHS tapes went to DVDs, then to Blu-rays, then to just streaming.
I remember the reel-to-reels.
Yeah. So guess what? We might be like, because I know people that's in their 70s that's got probably their first cell phone in their 70s. So
wow.
So now that we are moving into the advanced technology stage, what do you think that looks like for those same groups of people?
There are people in that group didn't make it. They didn't, even though the changes were happening, they were stuck. Look at Cuba. Cuba is still in the 50s. Puerto Rico, they don't talk about it, but Puerto Rico is stuck too. They didn't want to become a state. They left it. They have citizenship. They didn't want to become a state. But look at the corruption in Puerto Rico. They're grit. They are rationing out water in Puerto Rico to this day. Right now, they're rationing out water. Their electricity goes in and out, in and out. It's not a storm. So hurricane season is coming or is here. What's going to happen to them if they're already going in and out of electricity when there is no storm?
Yeah.
The infrastructure is bad. The Dominican Republic, the República Dominicana, is better infrastructure than Puerto Rico. and Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, but Dominican, that's not there. But their infrastructure, they have a monorail in the Republic of Dominicana. There's a monorail, like you in Disney World, and it go over monorail. The infrastructure is changing. So the infrastructure, they talk about third world country. Man, have you been to the Dominican? Not you, but people, have you been to the Dominican Republic? It's totally different than it used to be. It is not like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is suffering right now. And the people, they talk, Bad Bunny talks about it. If you knew the words that the people of Puerto Rico, if they could interpret the words for you, and you listen to the words that people are dancing to and they love Bad Bunny, it's sad, bro. From Spanish to English or Spanglish to English, it's horrible what he's saying in the song. Not about people, it's just about what they're dealing with constantly. But yet, they want to go over there and take the island. They took the island. They took the island of Hawaii. Same thing. That's a Polynesian Pacific Coast culture. But now it's a territory. Now it's a 41 state. But they didn't deny becoming a state. Now, the locals don't necessarily like it, but if they didn't do it, they would be just like Puerto Rico right now.
And hey, Hawaii, I always call that my second home because I lived over there almost 10 years.
And it ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had to get up out of there, man. I did I was there. I did about 9.5 on the island of Oahu, 9 straight, bro.
Wow.
I was there, man.
Wow.
I love the music scene. The wife and I went back there a couple of years ago. I still have friends over there.
My brother got married here 2 years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, let's do a segue for these last 15 minutes or so. You have an extensive history in just going around different places, and you and I, we could sit and chop it up for hours upon end and jump from one subject. You have to. Well, I had to drink my coffee. Jorge just be who he is, man. But in order to keep up with us, you need to be on something high powered. You know what I'm saying? But everybody loves Jorge. So the fact that you never meet a stranger, I need to understand, or I want to understand. I don't need to understand, but I really want to understand. Were you always like that, or was that a learned behavior?
Always. And it's also a learned behavior. I've always been like this, but it was a learned behavior. And how I was like this by nature, I read about my personality. What is my characteristic makeup? What do they say scientifically about where I was born, when I was born, the time of day I was born, the hour I was born, all ties into the science of the universe, the stars, the sun, the moon, the what moon section was it? Was it a half a moon, a crescent moon, a full moon, a waning moon, or a super moon? All of those energies. And people don't even, I don't believe in the zodiac. It ain't about what you believe in. It's about what actually is happening. You are science. I am science. Everything that is made is science. The brain that we have scientifically puts things together and creates it. What does it take to create it? You need this to do this. You need this to do that. We are made in who? His image. So if we're made in his image and his likeness, then we have some serious scenarios. So look at it this way. We are not who we are in this right here. This body is a shell. So then who are we really? Just think of, I'm just pondering. Who are we really? We are energies that are transforming or going to and fro throughout the earth in this earthly body. It says,
Mm-hmm.
dust we come from, dust we shall return. The dust is going to return, but what happens to the energy when that dust is gone? It has to go back to where it came from. And where did it come from? Science. Now, who is science? The universe. The universe is a being. It was formed. There's so many stories in that, and people get confused. They go, like, well, what about this? You can debate that all you want. Bottom line is, it's still science. Debate it all you want. Oh, well, he's this and he's that. Well, his name is this and his name is that. You can do all that all you want. It's still science. It's not made for you to debate. It's for you to understand. This is why people are still in the matrix. They don't understand what we're talking about. They go like, why is he talking like that? No, you're missing the spiritual point. I didn't miss the spiritual point when you sent me that video. I said, I need to stop. Even though I didn't feel that I was doing that, just don't do it. Don't do it in the context that I was doing it in. Don't share it at all. And you said something to me. You said, don't. It was the energy. I couldn't argue that. So to stay on point, I was born this way. I understood who I was. I understand the assignment. What I didn't like was it said that I was impatient. It also said I was wishy-washy. The fish. Indecisive, can't make up my mind. I said I did not want to be that. And I sought out. That's the learned behavior. I sought out not to be anything that was negative on my characteristic of who I was as a person, because I was born March 2nd. And I was born this, that, and the third, and 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning I was born. All of that plays a part as to who you are and why you act the way you act. I am the poet of the zodiac. Our words, I'm a wordsmith. Words mean something to me, and I use them wisely. And if they're used against me, I can be offended by that, but I move differently than what I did before. That's the learned behavior. I wasn't always like that. I'm still a people person. I just learned to be a different people person. But I still meet no strangers. But instead of just talking, I have a goal in mind, specifically the goal.
Let's break that down a little bit. And you know what? Just to kind of even tag on what you said earlier, about learned behaviors, including what we're talking about when you speak, how you share an energy. Like I said, I had to check my own self. I do self-checking all the time. Sometimes I had to bite my own tongue and not say what I may be thinking at that time. I always tell people, you catch me on another day, this hat says Army, it says something about Army. And as the older I'm getting, the calmer I'm getting. When I used to pop off, now I think about it like, should I say that? I feel this way today. If I shut up today and hold this till tomorrow, will I feel the same way tomorrow?
Oh, man.
And 9 times out of 10, if I hold it and wait to express it tomorrow, it doesn't have the same thing because I'm not in that moment anymore. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to rehash an energy or feeling that I had previously that's no longer there. It's almost like you can never convince a happy person to be mad.
Nope.
It's impossible. So therefore, when you around a whole bunch of angry and mad people, that's because they're unhappy. In my opinion, they're unhappy.
They're in your ear.
Yeah, it's something around you. But let's go into this. You never meet a stranger. So you walk into a room, and I've seen this in person. So there's especially to my business owners that's looking at this. Let's help them out a little bit.
All right.
You open up the doors, you walk into the room, and you know how they have them little cocktail tables set up. So a bunch of people walking around. You are kind of introverted. I'm talking from experience, so I know about this. You're kind of introverted, but you want people, you don't want your time wasted in that room. It's 100 people in here. you need to get out to the next door, out the exit on the other side. How should I go about walking through that crowded space, and when I leave, people remember me?
I'll make an
What is that?
announcement.
I know you do it naturally, but
Yeah.
if you had to put it into some type of mentality or framework, what would that look like?
Make an announcement, a public service announcement. Hey, may I have your attention? I know you don't know me, but I would love to know you. Is that possible? Is everybody having a good day? Something just boom, just like that. But people who are shy, oh, I can't do, listen what I just said. I can't do that. They're already put themselves out of the room. Even if they're CEO, they put themselves out of the room. Why would you do that when you're trying to be in the room? Why would you do that if you're trying to be in the room? How they can adjust to do that? Just, it's Nike said it best. Just do it. What do you wait? Just do it. If you don't do it, guess what? It's never going to get done. A lot of people say, oh, it's never too late. Oh, I disagree that it's never too late. No, you had plenty of opportunities to do it. You chose not to. You just waited much later to decide to go do it. What was the difference in you going to do it when you was 19 and you now doing it at 70? You could have did it at 19. You chose to do it at 70 because you were so involved in doing everything else. And then at 70, okay, I'm going to do it now. Well, you ain't got much time left.
But
Fortunately, you made it. 70. You made it. But that's all you were promised. So what's going to happen at age 71? What if you don't get past 71? You had 60 years to get it done right. You didn't. You waited till you were 70 and you leave at 71.
But you said something. Now, I get it. You can come in and make that announcement, but there's some things in there that, depending on where you're at, because you have to have business etiquette.
There it is.
So at the end of the day, I still, so in a room where I have to be poised, I can't be loud. I still need to work that room.
I've been in those rooms.
So how do I approach that first person? I see them, I'm standing there with my stuff. What is the mentality I need to get my fire started to approach that first person and then multiply that across the room?
I'll use myself as an example. I was invited to procure farm, and when I got there, I saw everybody. My goal was to talk to them about Dr. DeMario. Hi, how you doing? What brings you here today? That's the first question I asked. So they tell me what brings them here today. They never ask me what brings me here today. You know why? Because they are talking. They are letting me know why they're here. So while they're talking, I'm gathering all the information. They don't even know. They are giving me the information and tools to keep them talking. Not because them talking is a rules to be against them. Them talking tells me, oh, I know what needs you have. I know what needs that can be met. I know Dr. DeMario can help you. I know Skilled Door can help you. Oh, better yet, you're here for Purify. You need to become a member. Are you a member? That's literally the conversations I'm having. They're like, why? And that's why I didn't know this, and I wasn't doing it to get that. But when you came back and said to me, Jorge, man, and then it became Jorge the Hunter. And then it became, now everybody loves Jorge. And that stuck with us.
But you know what? You did say that. That's good. Because, even inside of our team, I always say that we have a rule. We listen 90% of the time and we talk 10. Being because of the exact thing that you just said.
Yep.
If I listen to you and be humble long enough, you're going to tell me everything that I need to know in order to introduce the offer that I have. You can't do that if you're doing all the talking. So that's good. So and it's kind of funny though, because you said no one asked you why you here today.
They did.
That's funny.
They did not ask me. And guess what? I had an assignment, and I knew what my assignment was. And the assignment was, but I didn't know by doing my assignment, I would be getting, oh, who's the roster man? Oh man, I need him on my team. And somebody was like, oh no, that's gonna cost you. He could be on your team, but how much is it worth?
So really, as one major bullet point that leads to many others, and they can map this out however they want to. The first thing you need to do is just create a great introduction. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He did not say at one time a 30-second elevator pitch of your business. He said, go ask a simple, general question.
What brings you here? Why are you here? They're gonna tell you. There are multiple things you should be paying attention to when you ask a question like that. It doesn't have to be that specific question, but a question similar. It's an open-end question. That means that requires additional information. If that person responds with a one-word response, you already know where the person's mentality is. Because I didn't ask you a closed-end question. I asked you an open-end question. And if you don't know what an open-end question is, you're about to find out what a closed-end answer is. A closed-end answer, meaning it's not no conversation. They are resistant. They're checking you out. Why you have to check me out? I asked you a question. What brings you here? You either going to answer that or you don't. If they don't answer it, you have to use your feelers and ask them another question that makes them feel comfortable.
Okay, wait a minute now. I need to make them, the person I'm speaking to, I need to make them feel comfortable.
Absolutely. If I'm talking to you and you don't feel comfortable, that's a lose. Doesn't mean I'm going to lose, but it is a lose off the gate. You have, as a presenter or a instructor or teacher, it is up to me that my message gets across. If you do not get my message, I, the messenger, have failed. So what do I do if I'm in a fail mode or I don't get a open-end response? Then I say, hey, are you a morning person? You don't have to ask them this, but you want to know what type of person they are. You got to get them to talk, and not talk because you got to make them talk. Just, I want to have a simple conversation. Remember what I asked you when you said, hey, I want to put you on the podcast. We're just gonna talk. I said, is there a script? Remember I asked you, is there a script? Oh, no script. We're just talking. And that's exactly what we have. A conversation. You asked an open-end question, and I'm giving you additional things that took place in order for me to be at this particular point. And now I have to pay attention. I have to listen to your response. You gave me a closed-end response to an open-end question. That's what you say. I like those things that make you say,
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said, So what about that question? How did you feel when I asked you that? Are you a morning person? They're gonna let you know. Well, I usually don't talk in the morning. Well, we just met. Okay. Well, what does it take for you to talk to someone about what your business is, or what your intentions are, or what do you look to get from coming here? You came here for a reason. What is it? Did you come to meet a wife? Did you come to meet a boyfriend, a husband, girlfriend? What did you come for? If you don't have an answer for that, you in trouble. Not me, the person who I asked the question.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And you know what? We're gonna come back to that one. We're gonna have to have you back most definitely, to break all of that down because you know that's some good tips there, man. And you know, I really, as we're kind of coming to a close here, and we know we've been talking to y'all to death, but we give you those little teasers. We give you little teasers because you got to come back for part 2. But Jorge, I want you to take a moment now. You being a creative and with your past in the music world and film and all the different things that you have had experience in thus far. Um, let's talk to those people for a minute about your thoughts on about why do you have such an interest in advanced technologies, particularly artificial intelligence? What is that world like to you? What made you kind of gravitate? Because that's how we ended up here. You were sharing stuff, and I was like, Jorge, you into this? You was like, I am.
and before I knew that you were doing AI technology, before you were doing your platform, before you designed your platform of Skilldora, I was in telecommunication, and I am in telecommunication. I'm a Spectrum Channel partner, and that gave me I was on the inside at the big technological meetings, boardrooms, or affiliates. They're talking about all the things that are coming out. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not doing that. I need to be doing that. I didn't ask, well, how do you do it? I just feet first or head first, however you want to call it. I jumped in. I jumped in full heart. Now I'm getting ready to come out with something. They ain't gonna be ready for it. You gonna be ready for it. But you're like, boy, you ain't tell me that. You been hiding out. No, I ain't hiding. I just had to get it together. You wasn't hiding. You were getting it together. Like the times we used to break bread or whatever, like you said, we're not reacquainted. We are coming back full circle because of the universe, because you have been getting yourself together. You've been building, and you got, I mean, when I say you have a help meet, when I say the word you have a help meet, that's a help meet. Your situation, your spouse is a serious help me. Quintessential, her picture right here when it says help me. Your picture right here when it says help me. Your picture right here when it says this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself in a marriage.
Oh, watch this. Still writing the rules and in the playbook continuously as we go down this pathway.
Oh, cool.
And I appreciate you sharing that, man. But I want to kind of just close out and say, it's been a great conversation. This is what Talking Techish is. It's a conversation. That's why you have to play on the words. You heard Jorge say earlier, words matter. Yep. It's the reason I called it tech-ish. I never
you never said just tech talk.
No. Tech-ish. Meaning we're gonna give you a little bit of tech. We might give you a recipe to make cornbread, but then we might talk how technical the stove is.
I was getting ready to say there's a technique in making the cornbread that's still techish.
Yes, techish. And you know, I say this, and I probably shared this with you before. My friend Archbishop, something that you can probably go read and research on, but I never forgot when he told me that the word technology came from teknon, which was a biblical scenario. Y'all deep. Have to go back on my YouTube page and find Archbishop Jones and peep that out. That's actually
That's deep.
This thing is a little bit deeper than we think it is. We're just on the
Science.
surface.
Science.
Yes, sir. Science.
All of that is science.
Well, Jorge, as we close out today, man, is there any lasting words that you want to share with the people, as well as how they can connect with you, where to connect with you, things of that nature?
Absolutely. First and foremost, train the human. Deploy the AI. You are not replaceable by AI, but you will be replaced if you don't study, know, and utilize AI. You got to utilize it. It is simple. It's not rocket science. The science has already been done, so it can be easily applied. They say knowledge is power. I am inclined to not disagree, but I'm inclined to say, and it is my quote, if knowledge is power, applied knowledge is key. There are people walking around, they have the knowledge. They're doing nothing. So are you going to be the person that has knowledge and do nothing? Don't be that person to have the knowledge and do nothing. You got to get up off of your seat of do nothing and be about your business. So in order for you to be about your business, look at yourself, man in the mirror, woman in the mirror, and see yourself and make the change. If you don't make the change, it's never going to get better for you. It's going to stay the same.
I love that, man. And how can they connect with you, man? What's your handles?
Oh, I am a publicist on all social media platforms. I am a publicist at all social media platforms. And my business is DUnique TV, DEUNEQUE TV on all social media platforms. And we say we're DUnique TV. We are everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jorge, I really appreciate you taking time to jump on Talking Techish and really just give us that deep dive information and from the world of everybody loves Jorge.
Make the call. Make the call. Make the call. Make the call. Appreciate you.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, we will catch you later. Don't forget, we're going to try to drop episodes every Friday. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you then. Peace.
Talking Techish. Talking Techish. Talking Techish.